Hello everybody, sun is shining again, weather is fantastic outside, so if you get a chance today to do your bit of exercise, get out there, go and do it, enjoy the sunshine and make the most of it, but keep yourself safe along the way. If you need to come up to the school to change your books, do that. There's another book exchange down at the co-op. In the book exchange boxes, there are other activities in there. There are pencils and all sorts of bits and pieces. You won't need an exercise book though, because we've got 20 brilliant members of staff out and about in the village and beyond the village, as far as Littleport. We're delivering books to you, to every child in the school. Every one of you is getting a new exercise book today. So listen out, please, for the knock at the door. Whoever's delivering will put the book on the doorstep, knock on the door, we'll step back 2 meters to be well outside the social distancing zone. But come and say hello, because we miss you so much, and those adults that are out there would love to see your faces. We've got no idea yet when school might be open. My guess is that even if we do open in the near future, it won't look like normal school, and we won't have all of you here all the time, because we need to try and keep the social distancing going on, as far as I'm aware, for some time yet. So make the most of the opportunity to see those adults that are coming around to you. Say hello. We really miss every single one of you, and it would be great to see as many of you today as possible. Tomorrow is a bank holiday, not a normal bank holiday. Bank holidays normally happen on a Monday, I hear you say. Tomorrow is a Friday, I hear you say. Well, this year, 75 years, this Friday, 8th May, 75 years since the Victory in Europe Day, the day that the fighting in Europe stopped at the end of the Second World War, and tomorrow is a day of celebration. I've already had several photographs from you incredible people who have created bunting, Union Jack bunting, plus our little nod to our key workers and our NHS, our rainbow bunting that you've decorated your homes with and sent me photographs. Keep going. Please, do as much as you can. Let's make Willingham look like the most amazing place, with our homes decorated with Union Jack and rainbow bunting ready for tomorrow. And when you've done that, send me a photo. If you need templates, we've got them in our book exchange boxes at the school and at the co-op, and they're on our website. So you can either print one off and copy them out, or if you haven't got a printer, come and grab one, take it home and do loads. And get those homes looking incredible, so that when tomorrow comes, in this very unusual and unnormal time, we might have some kind of normal celebration and show that we care and that we appreciate all that happened all that time ago. Right now, we shall carry on with our second story from the Winnie the Pooh book, and this one is entitled Pooh Goes Visiting. Pooh goes visiting, and Pooh and Piglet nearly catch a woozle. Edward Bear, known to his friends as Winnie the Pooh, or Pooh for short, was walking through the forest one day, humming proudly to himself. He made up a little hum that very morning as he was doing his stoutness exercises. In front of the glass, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, he stretched down as low as he could go, and then as he tried to stretch up as high as he could go as well. After breakfast, he said it over and over to himself until he'd learnt it off by heart. And now he was humming it right through, properly. It went like this. Tra-la-la-la, 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 rum-tum-tiddle-um-mum, tiddle-liddle, 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 rum-tum. Well, he was humming this hum to himself and walking gaily along, wondering what everybody else was doing and what it felt like being somebody else, when suddenly he came to a sandy bank, and in the bank there was a large hole. "Aha," said Pooh, rum-tum-tiddle-um-tum. "If I know anything about anything, that hole means rabbit," he said, "and rabbit means company, he said. And company means food, and listening to me humming and such like. Rum-tum-tid-lum-tum. So he bent down and put his head into the hole and called out, "Is anybody at home?" There was a sudden scuffling noise from inside the hole and then silence. What I said was, "Is anybody at home?" called out Pooh very loudly. "No," said a voice, and then added, "You don't need to shout so loud. I heard you quite well the first time." "Bother," said Pooh. "Isn't there anybody there at all?" "Nobody." Winnie the Pooh took his head out of the hole and thought for a little, and he thought to himself, there must be somebody there, because somebody must have said nobody. So he put his head back in the hole and said, "Hello, Rabbit, isn't that you?" "No," said Rabbit, in a different sort of voice this time. But isn't that Rabbit's voice?" "I don't think so," said Rabbit. "It isn't meant to be." "Oh," said Pooh, and he took his head out of the hole, and he had another think, and then he put it back in and said, "Well, could you very kindly tell me where Rabbit is?" "He's gone to see his friend, Pooh Bear, who is a great friend of his." "But this is me," said Pooh, very much surprised. "What sort of me?" "Pooh Bear." "Are you sure?" said Rabbit, still more surprised. "Quite sure," said Pooh. "Oh, well, come in then." So Pooh pushed and pushed and pushed his way through the hole, and at last he got in. "Ha, you're quite right," said Rabbit, looking at him all over. "It is you. Glad to see you." "Who did you think it was?" "Well, I wasn't sure. You know how it is in the forest. One can't have anybody coming into one's house. One has to be careful. What about a mouthful of something?" Pooh always liked a little something at 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was very glad to see Rabbit getting out the plates and mugs. And when Rabbit said, "Honey or condensed milk with your bread?" he was so excited that he said, "Both." And then, so not to seem greedy, he added, "But don't bother about the bread, please." And for a long time after that, he said nothing, until at last, humming to himself in a rather sticky voice, he got up, shook Rabbit lovingly by the paw, and said he must be going. "Oh, must you?" said Rabbit politely. "Well," said Pooh, "I could stay a little longer if you—" and he tried very hard to look in the direction of the larder. "As a matter of fact, I was going out myself directly," said Rabbit. "Oh, well then, I'll be going. Goodbye." "Well, goodbye, if you're sure you won't have any more." "Oh, is there any more?" said Pooh quickly. Rabbit took the covers off the dishes and said, No, there wasn't." "Oh, I thought not," said Pooh, nodding to himself. "Well, goodbye. I must be going on." So he started to climb out of the hole. He pulled with his front paws and he pushed with his back paws. And in a little while, his nose was out in the open again. And then his ears, and then his front paws, and then his shoulders, and then... "Oh, help!" said Pooh. "I'd better go back." "Oh, bother," said Pooh. "I shall have to go on." "Oh, I can't do either," said Pooh. "Oh, help and bother." Now, by this time, Rabbit wanted to go for a walk too, and finding that the front door was full, he went out by the back door and came round to Pooh and looked at him. "Oh, hello. Are you stuck?" he asked. No, said Pooh carelessly. Just resting and thinking and humming to myself." "Here, give us a paw." Pooh stretched out his paw, and Rabbit pulled and pulled and pulled. "Oh!" cried Pooh. "You're hurting." "The fact is," said Rabbit, "you're stuck." "It all comes," said Pooh crossly, "of not having front doors big enough." "It all comes," said Rabbit sternly, "of eating too much." "I thought at the time," said Rabbit, Only I didn't like to say anything, said Rabbit. That one of us was eating too much, said Rabbit. And I knew it wasn't me, he said. Well, well, I shall go and fetch Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin lived at the other end of the forest. And when he came back with Rabbit and saw the front half of Pooh, he said, silly old bear, in such a loving voice that everybody felt quite hopeful again. I was just beginning to think, said Bear, sniffing slightly, that Rabbit might never be able to use his front door again. And I should hate that, he said. So should I, said Rabbit. Use his front door again, said Christopher Robin. Of course he'll use his front door again. Good, said Rabbit. If we can't pull you out, Pooh, we might push you back. Rabbit scratched his whiskers thoughtfully and pointed out that when once Pooh was pushed back, he was back. And of course, nobody was more glad to see Pooh than he was. Still, there it was. Some lived in trees, some lived underground, and... You mean I'd never get out? Said Pooh. I mean, said Rabbit, that having got so far, it seems a pity to waste it. Christopher Robin nodded. Then there's only one thing to be done, he said. We shall have to wait for you to get thin again. How long does getting thin take? Asked Pooh anxiously. About a week, I should think. But I can't stay here for a week. You can stay here all right, silly old bear. It's getting you out which is so difficult. We'll read to you, said Rabbit cheerfully. And I hope it won't snow, he added. And I say, old fellow, you're taking up a good deal of room in my house. Do you mind if I use your back legs as a towel horse? Because, I mean, they're there, they're doing nothing, and it would be very convenient just to hang the towels on them. A week, said Pooh gloomily. What about meals? I'm afraid no meals, said Christopher Robin, because of getting thin quicker, but we will read to you. Bear began to sigh, and then he found he couldn't because he was so tightly stuck, and a tear rolled down his eye, and he said, Then would you read a sustaining book, such as would help and comfort a wedged bear in great tightness? So for 1 week, Christopher Robin read that sort of book at the north end of Pooh, and Rabbit hung his washing at the south end. And in between, Bear himself felt that he was getting slenderer and slenderer. And at the end of the week, Christopher Robin said, Now. So he took hold of Pooh's front paws, and Rabbit took hold of Christopher Robin, and all of Rabbit's friends and relations took hold of Rabbit, and they all pulled together. And for a long time, Pooh only said, "Ow!" and "Oh!" And then all of a sudden he said, "Pop!" just as if a cork were coming out of a bottle. And Christopher Robin and Rabbit and all Rabbit's friends and relations went head over heels backwards. And on top of them came Winnie the Pooh, free. So with a nod of thanks to his friends, he went on with his walk through the forest, humming proudly to himself. But Christopher Robin looked after him lovingly and said to himself, Silly old bear. Okay. So the next chapter is Pooh and Piglet Nearly Catch the Woozle. So we shall have that tomorrow. Have a good day. As I said earlier, enjoy the sunshine. Get those bunting flags done, the Union Jack and the rainbow flags, and get your home decorated. Get a photo taken, and I'll stick them on the website. And let's celebrate VE Day tomorrow with real brilliance in the Willingham community. Take care, and you shall see me again tomorrow for the next chapter.